Op Garage Racer. Meet the most beautiful touring. You've been waiting for it for so long. There were many views, likes, and subscriptions. So here it is. Now we'll tell you about our struggles with Stage 1 and Stage 2, what we've already broken, and the nuances we've encountered. So grab your popcorn, it's going to be interesting. Let's go. Kyiv, winter has already arrived. It's snowing and raining constantly, so we moved to an indoor location. Last time it was Petrovka, and now it's the left bank after the workday. We're filming and sharing an interesting story about this 320 touring. In the previous video, we mentioned that it had the stock turbo, which was leaking oil. As it turns out, the turbo has already been rebuilt, but we don't know when or by whom. Still, it continues to leak, and we'll have some issues with it. I also mentioned that this car has 184 horsepower, and it drives the same as the 320i with the N20 engine, also with 184 horsepower. But I was just assuming it should drive like that. Now we'll find out what's really going on. We have a video on the channel about the 320i in stock form and on Stage 1 with Boot Mod 3. Here's the preview and the link. Go check it out. There we drove together with a passenger, around 120 km per hour for about 26-25 seconds. Which felt like an eternity. Here we've got 19 wheels on. And we expected it to be about 27, 28, 29, 30 maybe. Let's see what we got on the first measurements. Ha 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 ha, 100. Ha ha ha. Ah, that's 184 horsepower, man. We'll probably go 25 seconds. These 25 seconds will be at 100, 200. Do you remember when it was the 320? That's crazy. It feels like an eternity. About one measurement is enough for that. Wait, why aren't there any metrics? Man, you know what the problem is? Because there's no drag for some reason. Come on, just a little bit more. Here I am, 39 seconds. What, are we going to eternity? It's just that it goes to 100, and now it's like this. Interesting, interesting. I think it's gonna be 35. Hee 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 hee. No, that's okay. Alright, more. 10 kilometers per hour. 5 kilometers per hour. Come on, you can do it. 2 kilometers. 205. I guessed right, 35, 34, holy shit. How do you feel? Did you buy it? In the end, we got 2 runs. One uphill, the other downhill. One was under 40 seconds. The other one was 35 or 36 seconds. Damn, it was definitely unusual. We immediately thought it was the turbo or the particulate filter. I even made a poll on Instagram stories about it. Most people voted for the wheels in the poll. Well, the same things we suggested. Wheels, the particulate filter, and the turbo. As for the 0-100 time, we managed to get over 8 seconds, like 8.06, 8.09. According to the factory specs, it should be around 7.9 seconds. So it seems like it's doing about what it should. Let's do 0-100 stock. How much? Come on. Ooh, there was no bump. Not pulling up.
100.
Based on the 0 to 200 time, we thought the particulate filter was totally clogged. So personally, we expected the particulate filter to be in really bad condition, which is why we got that result. And we immediately headed to the dyno with our friends from Dark Horse to measure it. Look, there's a video from there. Look, 40 seconds at 100, 200. How much power?
29, I think.
How much?
29, I think. No, 35, 39. That's it, right? Back 35, there 39.
184 horsepower in stock. It should have been 27 or 25 seconds. But it turned out, well, 30, and we have 3540. How much do you think the power is? 3. So it would have run in 20, well, around 30 seconds. Wait, correction. 340,000 kilometers on the odometer with the original DPF. As always, Dark Horse did something magical and did not meet our expectations for stock performance. What else was there? 184 horsepower, 383 horsepower. In stock, it has 184 horsepower. That's unexpected. What happened? Did you mess with it again? Ah, yeah, pull it. And the second measurement, amazing drop in torque. At first it's fine, but then there's a drop.
The second one. Under load, it shows everything it needs to.
Is this without load?
Yes. And with load, it completely died.
Maybe you gave it a load of 300 horsepower, but it only has 184. Maybe your dyno hasn't seen such a weak car in a while.
No, I specifically loaded it with regular diesel turbos. When you apply some load, they perform better. They even show more underload than without it.
In short, I think the DPF will show its effect when we measure it, for sure.
At the stage, we got surprisingly 183 horsepower. But the answer to our question about why it drives so cutely was in the diesel particulate filter, as we thought. Because under heavy, long-lasting load, there was a significant drop in torque. At first, it still drove decently, like 0-100, but the longer the load, the more the DPF overheats. The turbo overheats, and the efficiency decreases. As a result, there's less torque and power. Plus, we previously did efficiency testing on this touring, and that's where we found that we were testing the particulate filter throughput. There was a higher but not excessive back pressure created by the diesel particulate filter. Well, that's why everything points to needing to cut the DPF. By the way, let us know in the comments what you think the main reason was for the car not performing. It was the clogged DPF, dead turbo, or the large 19-inch wide tires. Usually on diesel engines, there isn't such a problem as vibrations or strange noises, except for the sound of the turbo after the DPF removal. That's why we usually don't install any downpipes. We just cut out the DPF and put the rest back. And everything works fine for our customers. But this is our manager's car. He wanted to show off a bit and ordered a downpipe. However, there were some nuances as we made the downpipe without temperature sensors. You see, usually in diesel cars, the standard empty pipes still have all the holes where the sensors screw in, and nothing gets disconnected. But here, we made the downpipe without the temperature sensors. And in the end, he screwed in the lambda sensor but disconnected the temperature sensor. As a result, he constantly had an error related to the temperature sensor. But it didn't bother us, and it didn't bother anyone else. We went to the dyno. Although we should have gone straight to the dyno. Now you'll find out some very interesting results. Here are our old measurements. Take a guess. How much? Will it be now? How much will it be?
Look what's falling out.
195 from here. But the most important thing is that the torque doesn't drop here. If it doesn't drop, that's problem solved. We went to the Dark Horse stand, and we expected a stable plus 10 horsepower, as we usually get with gasoline engines. But everything went wrong. For some reason, we got even less than stock. We got 175, 176, 178 horsepower. That was the maximum. Everyone was surprised. How could this happen? Yesterday we came here. It was 174 or 173 with the DPF, and now without it, everything got worse. We attributed it to the fact that the car has errors. It hasn't been remapped for emissions. That means there are still brain errors, and most likely they are choking the car, so to speak. Since there are no temperature sensors, they've been disconnected. So this is the first conclusion. If you do this on a gasoline engine, you'll get plus 10 horsepower. On a diesel engine, it doesn't work like that. You definitely need to leave the temperature sensors in place if you haven't remapped the car for emissions. After the dyno, we immediately headed to Borispilskaya, our favorite place. There, the results were a disaster.
It's a fiasco, bro!
So on the downpipe, without a DPF, what, forever? How much do you think? Yes? What, really? I think 30 seconds maybe. Well, here, in this direction we were doing 39. I hope it's 30 at least. Well, 35, that's just it. That's fucked up, she's barely making it. Are you kidding me? Are you pressing the gas? Slavic, press it, press the gas. Slavic, press it. It's even worse now. Go, 195. Go, won't it explode? Oh, 196. Alright, that's tough. We've been accelerating for a minute now. Slavic, your thoughts?
It didn't work.
Whoa. Slavic, found your comments. The theory didn't work. We didn't accelerate. Even 195 we left after a minute. Well, the weather, it's because of the limp mode. The car definitely has less power. It probably shouldn't have stalled.
I think we shouldn't have removed the temperature sensor.
In the end, we flashed the first version of Stage 1, the lighter one. And we went to the dyno. According to the chip manufacturer's claims, the power should have been around 220, 215 horsepower. But the situation on the dyno repeated itself again. We've never come and gotten what we expected. Here we only squeezed out 208 horsepower. But there was no smoke at all. In theory, we could have played around with the chip tuner and squeezed out more power by adding more fuel. But then there would have been more smoke, more dark exhaust. Plus, the current turbo might have been letting us down. So we immediately went to Borispilskaya. Anyway, diesel Stage 1. Downpipe, the first version went.
60.
This will be the fastest time, right? Slavic is on edge. The blonde is on edge.
It will be 25.
No, it won't be 25. I'll drop you off, it'll be 25. And if it's 25 when you drop me off, what then? Well, nothing, I'll just die. So I'm going, damn it. Well, let me go. I'll take care of the debts, and you... The 195, go, 27 and 68. Then in the bypass, Stage 1.5, the first version.
400 meter.
Switch to 4.5 more. Here we go. And how does it shift in stock? Faster than eternity? Go, 190 so far. 194, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. "34 seconds. I think some diesel owners believe that on the first stage their car will perform roughly like a stock 328, which has 245 horsepower. But in practice, it turns out differently. A stock 328 takes about 20 seconds to go from 100 to 200. That is, around 18, 19, 20. Here we got a minimum of over 27 seconds. It's just out of this world. We weren't satisfied, especially when compared to drums or other things. In terms of increasing power, it seemed like such an unsuccessful project. It's hard to find more power. The owner of this car, our manager Slava, couldn't shake the idea of getting at least 25 seconds for 0-100. Since on his 1 series, which is much lighter and on smaller wheels, he had under 20 seconds on the first stage and XHP. Here, we were getting over 26, and he really wanted to achieve 25. So we immediately installed the XHP chip from Borispil. And we consistently shaved off 1 second both up and down, meaning uphill and downhill. We got about 25 seconds downhill and 33 seconds uphill. So he was already partially satisfied considering the wheels and such a heavy twin-turbo setup. And he didn't stop there, he dropped me off. And he went off to measure it himself. He managed to drop the time uphill to 30 seconds and downhill only by half a second. So that's how much one passenger roughly affects the time. And next, we would have had to test the first stage chips until we reached 220 horsepower and a normal speed. But since the car isn't mine and I couldn't do a lot of iterations, winter started, and Slava decided to switch the car to winter tires, put on lighter 16-inch wheels, install the intake, and go straight to stage 2. That way we wouldn't have to worry about it, avoid doing a bunch of iterations, and not have to go to the dyno multiple times. And with this setup, stage 2, the intake, and those wheels, he decided to go to Borisville on his own. And look, considering that the Touring is heavier than the sedan, we managed to get the fastest time of 23.6 seconds in a single run. So this is already approaching the performance of a stock 328. But here's the catch. When we were doing the measurements, the turbo was already whining too much, so something was off with it, and it looks like it will need to be rebuilt. However, we won't rebuild it. Instead, we'll go straight to stage 3. So he didn't want to go to the dyno anymore to measure how much power it had, but I think it's probably around 230 horsepower now. Share your thoughts on what's happening here. We've got this stage 2, but we're not really focused on it or testing it much, because stage 3 is ahead of us. The car has 340,000 kilometers on it. The turbo has been rebuilt before, and now we're going to make it hybrid. And then we'll start fine-tuning everything and testing different tunes and configurations. And even though the car is currently slower than a stock 328, I'm hopeful that with stage 3, we'll catch up and even surpass the 328 on stage first. And let us know in the comments if you think we'll manage to do it. Also, write in the comments what power you expect at stage 3. And let us know if the engine will hold up fine. Check out our beautiful Touring, give it a like, and also appreciate our efforts in experimenting with it. All the time, money, and risks we've taken with stage 3. I think you'll like the project, so make sure to subscribe to the Institute, subscribe to our YouTube channel. By the way, if anyone needs boot mod activation codes at a good price, feel free to message me privately. It's already 11 PM and we're heading out to make some moves.